Hello and welcome back. This is your segment, Chris.
I know.
Just start, go.
All right, no, hold on. I'll just.
I'm here for leave it. I'm here for the joyride. Let everyone see you're just sitting there waiting.
I'll do the intro, guys. I'll do the intro. Hello and welcome to another episode of Supercoach Insider. My name is Chris,
And I'm Ben.
and we're just doing round reversal this week. I thought we'd drop you in with what happened with my team this week and what is going to be happening in the coming weeks. Had a bit of I had an alright week. This is how my team ended up shaping this week. I actually ended up going the last minute VC on Grundy. I switched off of McRae at the last second. Main reason is I just thought with Grundy going up against who is going up against at the Gold Coast, his range was somewhere between 140 and 200. Now I did hit that, but I thought he had just had a much larger range, and with a Gorn as a backup, I just thought, look, let's VC it instead of putting the C on, because I wanted him in my mix instead of having McRae. It obviously ended up working. I was able to loophole him with Waterman later in the week, and ended up scoring. And we'll just go back to the homepage here. So 2,084, which was not too bad. It wasn't an amazing score, but it did actually increase my rank up 186 spots. Up to 782. Thank you very much. Still behind this old stager here. We'll have to work out exactly. I think I'm only like 100 points behind now, but yeah, not too far behind you. But
well, Luke Ryan's giving you another chance this week.
Yep. It sounds good, mate. But yeah, it wasn't a terrible week. I mean, look, if I had complaints, Ridley obviously wasn't as good as he could be. We'll go into that in the other podcast. Doherty again. They sort of played Doherty versus Ridley in that game. And they literally all scored the exact same, which didn't help me. Houston obviously was not a great in. Chapman, luckily, he even got to 28 because he busted his shoulder in the first quarter. My big saviors really were obviously my midfield and my trade in. So Brayshaw obviously came in for me with a 121. Taranto with a 139 outscored Josh Kelly and all the GWS midfielders, but I just wanted to label that as a Josh Kelly week. And of course I had Dane Zorko come in with a 92, which wasn't too bad. I was hoping for more, but that was it. Forward line was a bit in shambles, obviously. Zeeble managed to cop me a 102 on the bench here, and I might just put him here so that it looks a bit better. And of course I had Dusty on the Pine, so I wasn't able to get him that week, but this is how it lined up. Now, how am I looking this week? Well, I suppose on the rookie front, we've got a few things that we need to be aware of. Obviously, Chapman doesn't look like he'll be playing this week. He has to go because, unfortunately, unless I want to move Laird back, I really don't have cover. And the good news is, obviously, there is a few different ins. I think the easiest no-brainer in is Frederick at the moment, just due to his break-even. So that's who I'll be bringing in this week there. So I'll put in little Frederick. And then my second in is actually going to be a double downgrade. Now, the reason for that is my cash situation. So I don't have any cash, and so I'm going to need to bring someone else in. I've thought heavily about a few different trading options.
You can afford Heaney. You can afford DeGoey.
Oh, yeah, real good ins. I can't wait. No, I am definitely not doing those trades. I'm 100% going to be locking in a double downgrade this week. And the reason is the amount of rookie options available next week. So I'll probably be getting another different rookie option next week. So for me, a double downgrade makes sense. I'm going to go with RCD this week. And I'm also going to get Rowe off field. So for me, it's a simple case. I'm just going to trade him out. I'm going to sub Scott into my forward line and bring in RCD. Now, obviously, it is going to be risky going early on a rookie. This is my first time doing that this season. I'll tell you this now. I like the trade as it stands. I can also loophole him, which would be a nice little benefit because he plays on the Friday night. But, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Proof's in the pudding long term. Obviously, his job security is the main issue. He proved he has scoring power, and they threw him into the midfield. And he scored a quite handy 76 there. Cochin obviously going down and Dusty coming back in this week means that his role should stay neutral. But then it's about, when as Dion Prestia comes back, and there's quite a few cogs missing from that midfield wheel. at the Richmond Tigers. So we'll have to see how that happens. I'm not trading Golden for the same reason that I spoke of in the previous pod. At his price point, he's only going to potentially lose another 10K before his break-even neutralizes, and then we can reassess and just hold him. Hopefully, you can hold him right up until the last buy. And that's my plan at the moment with Golden, but we'll see how that pans out. McCreary seems to be continuing to score well. He has a really great role there at Collingwood, and I don't think he's going anywhere. There is a couple of rookies on the horizon there, but I'll talk about that in the main podcast as well.
McCreary's role is to watch the ball down the opposite end of the field for most of the game.
Yeah, and then tackle when it comes down there, which is doing quite well.
He is. Nine tackles. My man.
Yes, and then, of course, so the other option that I really like, there is two other defensive options in Nathan Murphy and Nick Murray, is it? The Adelaide guy. Murphy actually doesn't look too bad. And I think his job security is pretty good. But with Frederick already there, the only other way to get someone into there is obviously I can, I don't have any cash on the bench there with Sharp or Highmore. I could obviously trade out a midfield rookie and move Sharp into my midfield, but then I lose my swing. And I don't really want to do that. The other one I've got is Thilthorpe. Now, I really liked his game this week, even though he didn't kick any goals. And I think he still managed to get a 54. So, that's a huge tick for a forward rookie who was able to score 54 in a game where he didn't even kick a goal. Can you imagine Rowe doing that? Could you please? Huge tick for him in terms of that. The only thing is, I really wanted Flynn to play last week to get that extra little cash, and I don't think it's wise to trade him out just yet. So, I'll keep Fulton there. Hopefully, another forward rookie.
So with
week.
Flynn, if he goes up one more week, he'll go over 300,000. You would assume. Not only that, Mumford has already been spoken about. He is the number one at GWS. On top of that, Bruce is coming back probably after their bye, so around 13 or so. He could be coming back anywhere after there, which means that it's basically the Mumford show until Bruce is ready, and Flynn will be kind of chopping out, and we just need him to play one or two more games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm really hoping, in an ideal world, Flynn will be named this week, and then I can trade out Flynn for someone like a Caleb Poulter, who is forward mid. So I'll go able to obviously put Fullerton into my ruck line, and then trade in Poulter either to go there or into my midfield, which will be nice because I don't have a current midfield forward swing in this setup. So that's my plan immediately moving forward, because I will obviously still go one down, one up next week. Now, I have a definite plan right now. So right now, my plan is the double down this week. It'll be one down, one up. I'm hoping that's Poulter based on his role, and we'll get into his role a little bit more in the pod. It'll likely be my in next week will be Scott to Marshall, depending on the break-evens, but that's what it's likely looking like at this stage. And then the following week will likely be Whitfield in, or it could be Isaac Heaney, and we'll talk about that a little bit in the podcast as well, and it depends on a few things that happen over the next couple of weeks. But, Whitfield, I think, I loved his game. He only scored the 86, which is fantastic, but 30 disposals from that. He had 110 Dream Team for only 86 Supercoach, which is absolutely the best thing that I've ever seen, because it means his price isn't going to go up, hopefully, in that first week after his bubble rise. But it means he's got a good role. He's obviously got to be conducive to scoring, and we can move on to that next week. In the next 2 weeks instead of next week. That's my team. Those are the changes that I'm making this week. Now, in terms of vice captain and captain, this one's going to be a little bit controversial, but it is going to be happening 100%. I am vice captaining Jack Zeeble this week, and I am captaining Max Gawn. Now, the reason for that is pretty simple. North playing Collingwood this week. Collingwood give up the most marks in their defensive 50 to every team in the AFL.
In their forward 50?
Yes, in their forward 50. Now, half of the reason is they just don't pressure. They actually set their zone back a little bit. And they're running rookies that don't really understand how to play the game quite as well. They don't pressure as well. Don't have as big a tank.
And they just blast away. Even McCreary just grabbed the ball, didn't even look, and just blasted it long into the forward 50 and got intercept marked.
They absolutely love a long into a forward line completely full of North Melbourne players, all opposition players. And that is what Collingwood is doing. It's why they're second bottom from the ladder. They're just blasting the ball forward and thinking that they're going to win a one-on-one contest, and they're not. They're getting outdone 2-1, 3-1. It's ridiculous. Jack Zeeble should absolutely towel up. I prefer that to the Grundy matchup, and the reason for that is North Melbourne were very, 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 very good at sharking Gawn's taps last week, which is why he did not score as well as he wanted to. So he actually did get quite a lot of hit-outs, but they were all sharked. And one of Gawn's biggest strengths is hit-out to advantage. I think at halftime I saw a stat that he only had 2 hit-outs to advantage for the entire game to date, which is just un-Gawn-like. So if they run the same thing against Grundy after being so successful the week before, I just can't see him being as impactful with his hit-outs. Having said that, obviously Grundy is great with his disposal, so I don't think he's a bad vice-captain. I'm just going a little bit different this week, and for me, Jack Zeeble makes sense for the opposition he's playing this week. So I'm going to be running Zeeble into Gawn this week as my VC and C.
Interesting. I don't think you'll be alone there, Chris.
Yeah, well, it is the week to take the risk. The risk, obviously, I could go Gawn into McRae. I'm just a little bit weary of the Kernow tag there. And I mean, outside of that, Walsh I don't like against the Dogs midfield, obviously. And even though he's in a really good form, I'm just not going to go there. So yeah, those are really the 4 or 5 options that I'd like to look at.
So you think someone into Gawn is the play this week?
Yeah, I do. I like Gawn as the backup option this week, yeah. Because I don't think after Gawn there's many that I'm interested in. So if you can get someone before Gawn, that's ideal in my opinion. So something that I'm looking at this week. It's even though I'm double down, I'm 1 premium up on my previous week because obviously I gained Dusty Martin this week. So I'm looking forward to hopefully him picking up after his first appearance in my team of 39. But yeah, there's got a lot of loophole options this week, guys. So if Highmore gets named, you'll be able to loophole him on. You can loophole Riley Collier-Dawkins. Obviously, depending if actually these guys all might play this week.
Barry might not.
Barry might not play. Really?
Yeah.
He was praised by the coach after the game, even though he had a.
We'll see.
I don't know if he had a bad one.
Oh, that's not according to me. That's according to whoever writes the ins and outs.
Yeah,
that's true. That's an opinion based.
And then Waterman. So Waterman this week will be interesting because I had a look at his VFL stats. Nothing to write home about. Kicked a goal, 11 possessions, couple tackles. But Braden Ham as well, who is basically fighting for the same spot, was also the most underperforming forward for the Dons this week. So. Yeah, small for small. Might I make that argument? However, why change a winning? They didn't win this week.
No, they didn't. They need to change.
So.
Yeah, they didn't win. I got that tip right. Is that that's your team?
And that is it. That is me done and dusted, guys. So thank you.
So that's your team.
That's my team for this week. Yep.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
This is me in a nutshell. Help! I'm in a nutshell. How did I get into this nutshell?
I respect that. By the way, go to Ranto as well. Just another one. And yoo-hoo to Josh Kelly for bringing up trumps for all those people that traded him out.
that's crickets if I've ever heard crickets.
It's like tumbleweed across the screen.
Oh, fuck you.
A little gif. I respect that.
Look, he did well 1 week. Literally, death, taxes, Josh Kelly tearing up a bottom 4 side.
This is true, mate. This is true. All right, guys, have a good week, and I look forward to having a chat in the next pod.
Bye.
Cheers.